Hello guys, how are you all? This is Prasant. I welcome you all in today's topic. So today we are going to talk about the programming language and language processors. We have two topics to discuss today. First is programming language and language processor. I can make the separate video on them, but I'm thinking, but if I'm going to teach you both together, that it will be the good part for you so that you can understand all the things. We will in the under the language processor we will discuss the compiler, interpreter and the assembler also, and we will understand the parts of this. What are the importance? Okay. So this is Prashant. So please, my request, please watch the video till end. So here we are going to begin. Let's continue. So first of all, the programming language. We have three types of programming language. Okay. Okay. To make you the basic understanding, programming language. As we are going to understand the language is the medium to communicate between two or more persons. Okay. Mode of communication. You are sharing your ideas, another person is sharing his ideas, so this is the language. In the similar term, when we have to understand the computer, a computer have to understand our things. So what we will do? We are going to understand what is the language of computer. We have to understand what is the language of computer and what are the things that computer can understand. According to that, we have to do the work. So similarly, we have here programming language. One is machine language, second one is assembly, third one is high level. The programming language can be categorized in the three ways. Okay, machine language, assembly language, and the high level language. So let's concentrate on the machine language. It is the only language that can be used by the computer. Only language. Please make it sure that you have to understand it is the only language that computer can understand. Programmers therefore use other a high level programming language or assembly language, because computer can understand only two things, that is bit 0 and 1. Okay. So we are not able to understand what is the meaning of 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. We are not able to understand these things. So what we are going to do? To make it easy, we are having the high level language. We have the high level programming language or assembly language so that computer can understand what the user wants. Okay. So 0, 1 is the language of machine. Make it sure. Each statement is in the sequence of its bits. As I told you, 0 and 1. Impossible by humans to use or understand machine language. Absolutely. You cannot understand. Can you tell me what is the meaning of this word, which I have written just now? No, because we don't know what is the meaning of this word. If just now I wrote 4 to 5 words, it can be 100, it can be 1000, it can be 10,000, it can be lakh. So you are not able to understand what is the meaning of that word, that many 0 and 1s. So that's why it is really very impossible for human beings. So to understand that words, we having the language, we having the high level language. Okay. It's also known as the first generation language. Make it sure this is for your MCQ purpose or for your competition exam purpose. Machine language is the first generation language. Now we have the assembly language. Assembly language, it is also known as the second generation language. Assembly language is the second generation language. It contains the same instructions as a machine language. Okay, but instructions and variables have the name instead of 0 and 1 as MO, ADD and etc. Okay, means it is similar as the machine language, but it have some instructions which you can read, which you can write, okay, yourself. That's why it is the readable form. You cannot read this, but you can't read this. Okay, you can understand the meaning of this, add, move, okay, but you cannot understand what is the meaning of this. So that's why assembly language is needed. Okay, it is similar as machine language. Please make it sure that you have to remember is the same instruction as the machine language, but it is readable. And you will get the readable form of the machine language in assembly language. Now we have the high level language, most popular fourth generation language. Nowadays people are using mostly these languages. In the shortcut we can say it is HLL, high level languages. Okay, are mostly used by the programmers like as a Java, C, C++, Python, PHP. These are the high level languages. Means directly you have to write down all the instructions in the English, and you can directly communicate to the computer system. Every CPU has its own language. Programmer must rewrite and recompile to run on the different types of computers. Okay, so you have to, whenever you are going to make the programming, that time you have to understand the things that every CPU have its own language, and you have to design according to the CPU. Is this clear to all of you? So I think these things are clear, that what is the machine language, what is the assembly language, and what is the high level language. So in the same term, one thing you can understand here, programming language. Just now we talked about the high level languages. Some people were thinking high level is there, so then low level is also there. Okay, what is the low level? So you can understand here, programming language, low level language, middle level language, and the high level language. But mostly people are using only low level and the high level. Okay, middle is the C, because it come in the mid of computer generation. Okay, so that's why it is known as the middle level language. Low level language, machine language and the assembly language, they both are considered as the low level language, because they are directly interacting with the machine. They are directly interacting with all the hardware parts of the computer system. But high level language, you are writing the everything in the English, and then you are converting. You require a medium to convert the high level language to the low level language, machine language. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. So now we are going to talk about the language processors. What is this? Language processor. We know that computer understand only machine language easily. Assembly language or higher level language programmers cannot be run directly on a computer. Make it sure that program cannot be run directly on a computer. It must be converted into the machine language. Whatever you are going to write down, whatever you are going to make the programs or you want to do, computer cannot understand directly. You have to convert them into the machine language. Okay, because the computer is a machine, it can understand its own language. You are a person who are belonging to any English language or French language. You can understand your own language. As a similar, computer can understand its own language. Okay. So here the language processor is a software which helps you to convert the program into the machine language. Okay. So every language has its own language processors. We have interpreter, compiler, and the assembler. Is this clear to all of you? We have the three categories of the language processors: interpreter, compiler, and the assembler. So let's see and understand what are the terms. Here, assembler. As assembly language, similarly we have assembler. So assembler is a translator programming. It uses the translation to instructions to an assembly language into the machine language. Is this clear? As we have understand the assembly language, it converts into the machine language. Similarly, you can see here, this is the high level language, and it goes through the assembly language, and assembly is converting all the things into the machine language. Machine language is this. Okay, so whatever the meaning is here, it is here, and it can be converted in the this only. Okay. Interpreter, line by line. One thing you have to when you have to give a concentration on these words. Line by line means once you execute on a program, you execute on a statement, you execute on any condition. So when it starts, the interpreter, what it will do, it will check the lines. It will check the each line, that first line, second line, third line. It will check each condition line by line, and it will if it got any correction or any error in any line. So what it will do, you have to rectify, you have to correct that error. Then it will go to the fourth line. Let's suppose this is the first line, this is the second line, or this is the third line, and it got any error in this line. So what it will do, it will not go to the fourth line until or unless you will not rectify the error, you will not clear the error, it will not jump over there. So that's why interpreter works line by line. Whenever you will give the program, whenever you will give any high level language, it will check errors, it will check the programs line by line. Okay, and when it got the error, it will display the message, and immediately you have to correct the error. Then it will jump to the second line and further. Is this clear to all of you? Interpreter, line by line. To remember this, LBL you have to remember. Okay. Now the compiler, we have compiler, entire program in one go. As just it is opposite of interpreter. As in compiler, an interpreter, we were checking the program line by line. It will do it will run whole program in once. It will run whole program in once. Let's suppose this line have error. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sixth line. Let's suppose sixth line have error. So what it will show? It will show line 6. Line 6 have error. Okay, at the last it will show line 6 have error, and you have to clear the error. Then it will jump to the next program. Then it will execute your program. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Means compiler will run the whole program in one go, and if any error is there, it will show at the last of the it will show at the last error. Until or unless you will not clear the error, it will not execute. Okay, I hope the things are clear. Today we have discussed the programming language and the language processors. We have three types of programming language: machine language, machine language, assembly language, and the high level language. Okay, then we discussed about the compiler, interpreter, and the assembler. Okay, so tomorrow we will start with the application software. So I hope these things are clear to you. Thank you and have a nice day. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.